there's a lot of articles about Twitter lately.
Yeah, like I'm not sure it's 80%, but yeah, it's one hell of a lot more than 5.
Speaking of that, this is like tangentially related. Did you guys see Zuckerberg on Rogan?
Yeah, with the whole silencing the laptop story.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't think I got to that part, but the part that I saw, they were mostly just talking about AI. I still gotta listen to the rest of it.
Yeah, so this was something that was kind of aired on the right-wing Twitter, where it was like, he was basically saying like, yeah, so the FBI told us that we shouldn't, you know, this was like fake news coming in, and therefore we demoted it in the algorithm.
Right.
Yeah.
And what you now know is that there's more people that voted for Biden that said that they would change their vote had they known about the laptop being real than the difference had they known about Biden. And it is all originated by the FBI.
It's easy to say. I mean, I believe that it probably would have swayed some people, but it's real easy to say that now, you know what I mean? Like, especially when a lot of people are, like, generally unhappy with Biden, it seems like, anyway. I don't know if I really
I was kind of, here's the thing, I did this fucking stupid thing where I bet literally like $200 or something, maybe $300 that Trump would win. Because I was like looking at the rallies and I'm like, okay, so Trump has like, you know, full stadiums and there's like 38,000 people watching his streams on YouTube. And then you got Biden and it's literally like 12 people live and then 100 people watching him online. So I was like, yeah, clearly Trump's gonna win. So let's bet on Trump. And then he lost. And what's kind of fucked up is that people are like, well, you know, Trump alienated people, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, you know, the number one person for the most amount of votes in American history is Biden in that election. Do you know what the number 2 person is? Trump in the same fucking election. It's like, there's something weird here, you know?
Well, nothing weird with that, just a lot of turnout.
Trump lost my vote in 2020. I didn't vote at all, but he just, like, I don't know, man, he just wouldn't show up on Twitter for a while.
Yeah, he fucked up. No doubt about that.
What's that?
There's no doubt about that. He fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, like, I would have voted for him, but I was just unhappy with how he was handling COVID and all that.
He's just sort of fucked up in general.
He did a big problem where it's like he listened too much to the expert, which is kind of funny. Because
I don't know about that.
People said he didn't do.
Yeah. You mean on COVID?
Yeah, I mean, he listened to Fauci, he listened to all the people telling like, oh yeah, this is what you really need to do, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, don't listen to them. Tell them to go fuck themselves. It's like, no, use them by everything they said. You know, so.
Just didn't like when he was arguing with, or not arguing, but just tweeting about masks when people are losing their jobs and all that. It just wasn't a good look, I don't think, especially not for the president.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about masks is that technically they could theoretically work, but it requires people to use them properly, and very few people do. And then it's like, yeah, we're gonna mask children. It's like, dude, have you seen children? They're gonna touch the outside of that mask like they're getting paid for it. You know? But people were like, oh my god, this 2-year-old isn't wearing a mask. That means we're all gonna die.
I may or may not vote for Trump if he runs again. I don't like how he keeps talking about the stupid election shit. Like, it's just not a good look at all, dude. Like,
It was rigged! It was rigged! totally rigged.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like,
Well,
you gotta
here's the
fucking
thing.
chill out with that.
I think that's true, but I don't think it's a winning message.
No,
I don't think it was rigged. Yeah, I mean, I think he lost. Like, the guy was kind of like the most embarrassing president ever. I do think he did some things right, but you can't act like he was some fucking great statesman or some shit. Like, the guy is sort of a, you know, like...
I mean, you know, a record economy until some Chinese...
all you have to do is listen to the guy for 20 minutes and you'll see he wasn't the greatest president ever. Like, a good president is diplomatic, reserved, professional. This guy's Looney Tunes, you know. I'm not saying he didn't do some good things. He did, obviously, but, like, spare me the whole, like, you know, this guy was the GOAT, because he obviously wasn't. Like, he said the dumbest shit. What kind of guy says grab him by the pussy? Like... And other shit like that. Like, the guy fucked up, you know? I mean, so the fact that he lost the election, what's the more obvious explanation? It was some crazy... that it was rigged, which is insane.
Randomized pussy that was a 10-year-old...
No, I'm not... I'm just throwing one thing out there. There's lists and... There's long lists of things Trump has said that's stupid, and it doesn't take more than two... Let me just finish. It doesn't take more than 2 minutes to sort of see the guy's not all there. And I think that basically, like, the more obvious explanation is not that there was some crazy conspiracy to rig an election, but the guy just lost because he lost touch with a lot of people, maybe like me and others, that are just like, this guy's a clown. Like, look at all the dumb stuff he says. Look at all the dumb distractions. Like, you know, he would have been a really good president if he just kind of had a little bit of self-control. And, you know, he just didn't.
Well,
Yeah,
the other
two things. First of all, the most votes in American history. Number one place, Biden in that election. Number two, Trump in that election. Secondly, with the whole thing about the ground by the pussy, think about this. So these videos,
take that back. Just pick any other thing the guy said that was stupid, which is there are too many things.
Well, it's endemic, like it's signifying like the problem with a lot of the critiques.
Pick something that he said during his term. I mean, the guy just non-stop dumb stuff.
Yeah, but still, think about that single thing, where it's like, it's 11 years old, and when it's quoted, no one cares about it. And when do people care about it? Do they care about it when he runs for president? No. Do they care about, you know, when do they care about it?
It's just like, so embarrassing. Like, presidents don't talk like that. It shows you the character, you know, of a person. Not that it's like the worst thing ever said. It's just like a very embarrassing like thing. And again, it's not really that big of a deal. But the other stuff he said is also stupid. Like, the guy's just kind of an idiot in general. Like.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, that's, as an American, it's like, I feel kind of the same way with Biden for different reasons. Like, I just didn't have confidence in Trump to handle, like, foreign affairs and not make an ass of himself in front of important people, and, you know what I mean, just say stupid shit like that.
Here's the thing, Trump did amazingly with non-Western parties, but he did crappily with Western parties. But here's the thing, the Western parties, you don't have to care about them because they will go with the US no matter what. But yeah, like the Middle Easterners liked him, the Chinese people actually liked him because they like the kind of entrepreneurial people, you know.
Well, strong man as well.
He put tariffs on stuff. I did not like him.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, they wouldn't, like, with Obama, they literally said, like, they wouldn't give the staircase to the plane for Obama. And then he just went back on the, you know, the car, you know, the back thing on the plane.
No.
Well, yeah. But what the hell is it called on the back of the plane that where Obama went out of?
Staircase.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a staircase on the back that they can do themselves. And they just carried on like nothing happened. It's like, you know that
It's
they
kind
would.
of crazy though, if you think about it. Trump really kind of brought peace to, you know, the Gulf countries, the Arab Gulf countries, and then Israel, which was
Yeah.
unthinkable. And no one ever talks about it, right? Like they were
Yeah.
talking about Trump's international diplomacy, and like you said, he sucked with Western leaders, but who cares? He won
cares?
Canada, got us a better NAFTA deal,
Yeah.
and he brought peace to the most important allies in the Middle East. That's pretty impressive, though.
Yeah, his foreign policy was pretty good. Like that's something you gotta give him credit for.
Yeah, no, he
I
did.
mean,
He
Yeah,
did some things right.
He was this about Kim Jong-un, you know, it was like, hey, you know, this is great, like, let's have some real estate deals in this place, this looks great, you know. It's like, oh my god, I agree.
He
And
did.
then,
He did some
and
things
Kim
right.
Jong-un, he doesn't want to talk to Biden.
Yeah, because he's like, I don't know. I've lost a lot of faith in Trump.
Martin, what do you think about Ron DeSantis?
I don't know anything about him. Haven't followed him at all.
Here's the thing, if Ron DeSantis became president, my concern is that he wouldn't rock the boat enough. He would play the game, but be a reasonable guy, but not unreasonable enough, because I think people should be more reasonable.
I think he's a politician. Like he's not unlike lots of other politicians, but sometimes when you want a politician to be the president, I suppose. I mean, I don't think it's very. I just feel, and I don't know that it's Trump's fault exactly, but it does seem kind of hard to get around the fact that things are just worse now than they were in like 2015. I don't know. I just kind of want return to normalcy as much as possible.
Yeah, that's the problem with presidents. Is it's never really their fault.
Yeah.
they,
No, you're right about that.
they still get judged that way, so it's kind of a funny thing. But
I think the main problem is like in colleges and schools they push this leftist agenda so hard.
yeah, it's pretty annoying. That's part of the thing a lot of people are trying to fight. But the problem is the people that want to fight it the most are like the least rational kind of crazy people. You know, like Trumpers and things like that. And again, I have no problem with. I'd rather if it was Biden versus Trump today, I'm voting for Trump. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I would look into James Lindsay, if you haven't heard of him.
Well, it's like there's just such a fine line between like both sides. You have either a fucking leftist or you have
yeah,
you don't have anybody that can take to themselves. I think that's just the main fucking issue.
As I said, I would really look into James Lindsay. He has made himself kind of famous by, he was like this math guy, and then he was like looking into, he made hoax papers in gender studies and ethnic studies and whatever. And
oh, cool.
and he like got them published. And
I
then,
heard
like,
about this
sorry,
guy.
Sorry, this was all a hoax. And
Right.
like, yeah, but they were good papers. Like, no, they weren't.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. But he has a YouTube channel, New Discourses, where he
Cool.
talks about, for example, gender studies and CRT and SCL, you know, the education stuff.
Yo, Martin, let's run for president. We need a little sheep talk for president.
Yeah, right. I've got some legal limitations, but
It's alright.
I can run. I can't serve. Interestingly,
Sir.
I can run, but if I win, I would not be eligible to serve. It's very interesting.
That makes no sense at all.
You cannot hold office. That's what the Constitution says.
So, I think that's what you wanted in the first place, then.
That it says you cannot hold office. So you tell me what that means. You know,
Yeah.
it means you
Can
cannot.
you say, I literally can't win?
Right.
Yeah, you have to put your ideas into books that no one reads.
I could be vice president.
Yo, are you on Are you on Truth Social, bro?
I think I am on Truth Social.
Oh shit. I heard it's easier to get banned on there than just to get banned from Twitter.
Not surprised.
I wanted an account on Truth Social, but I can't because I'm a Swede.
Really?
Uh,
Yeah.
How does that work?
IP probably.
If it's not the
I
US, it's
tried to
free.
go on the website and it just says sorry, we don't serve you.
Yeah.
Sorry, fuck off.
Fuck off, Swede.
Yeah. It hurts me.
America.
But you know.
It should just say how to come to America.
Yeah, no, like, dude, even just naming it Truth Social, like, that's the most schizo fucking shit. And,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too fond of that name, but you know, Twitter is Casper.
even when Elon was talking about buying Twitter and Trump was asked, like, if he would return if he was allowed on, and he was saying no because now we have Truth Social, like, that's...
Yeah, he's just bluffing on that one.
Yeah, fuck that. He's, like, thinking, like, damn, I spent $100 million to make this shit. There's no fucking way that I'm just gonna start using Twitter again.
Right.
Those platforms are too big. You just can't. I think you can't really compete with Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Well, I guess it does serve a purpose because it's like, at least he has some way to communicate since he's not allowed anything else. But
Yeah,
I mean,
but what you gotta do is you gotta get rid of those fucking CEOs that run that shit because
Here's the thing, like I've been on Twitter now, and with the whole Ukraine bullshit, I'm really starting to wonder how many people are like bots or paid shills or whatever. It's insane. Like one of the most basic thing is the whole Ukraine is claiming that Russia is bombing a nuclear power plant that Russia controls and have control for months. Why the fuck would you bomb a nuclear power plant that you control?
Well, why would you invade a country?
yeah.
Well, that doesn't matter. I mean,
It does.
if you just wanted to shut off the power plant, you would just shut off the power plant, right?
It's just like, you know, you're asking, like, why would, I mean, there's a number of reasons, right? It could be that there's resistance there, it could be, right? I mean,
No, they're in that fucking power plant. They
sure,
have
but maybe there's... Okay, I get it, I guess, but point being, we don't know all the facts, and there's a lot of irrational...
Yeah, but if you're in the power plant, you wouldn't bomb yourself. And you could just shut it off and not have... Because if you bomb the power plant, that would be like an international thing. By the way, I'm having someone echo back on me, and it's kind of weird.
Does anybody know who it is?
I think it might be you.
Uh-oh. 1 moment. See if that's any better, and then I'll open Discord and see if I can diagnose that. Make sure you're not watching my stream either. Alright, go ahead.
Okay. But
Yeah, it's me.
so-
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the entire thing is that
Hmm.
it just feels kind of weird.
Let me see if I can get
A
the
bit less than before.
sensitivity down, yeah.
Yeah. If the it just feels really weird that if you control the power plant, you could just turn it off. But it's like, no, they're shelling it even though they're in it. It's like, why would you do that?
Who the
It
fuck
is
knows?
like-
Crazy shit happens during war sometimes.
Yeah, but
That,
then
you
they
know,
keep on shelling it for like weeks. And it's like, you know that Russia has this thing where they have shelled things immediately and really high precision. And it's like, dude, this is clearly Ukraine bombing around the plant. Be like, oh my god, it's Russia not being able to hit the plant, but any time now that they're gonna actually hit the plant, please intervene.
I don't know, like, with the whole Ukraine thing, like, I'm inclined to support the people who had their country invaded, I suppose, but the amount of, like, Ukrainian flags I see and shit in people's front yards, it's like, man, you know that there is some level of propaganda, not just some level, like, this is some crazy, you know, CIA shit. or whatever, like intelligence agencies from multiple countries.
Yeah.
And it's like there's so much bullshit being slung on both sides that it's like I just feel like I don't know enough about any of it to make like a firm stance. Even though, like I said, I guess I would be inclined to support the people defending their homeland. You know.
Well, I mean, they literally had to like tell the military of Ukraine to, for the love of God, remove the Nazi symbols on your fucking uniforms.
What is it?
Well, the Ukrainian, like the Azov battalion, they were like a Nazi militia that were kind of incorporated into the Ukrainian military. So they had like the Black Sun or whatever.
They're bombing the backup generators, not the reactor core, according to one of our followers here.
Do you know how to turn on and off a nuclear power plant? Because I don't know what I would do if I was a
here's the
soldier
thing.
and pulled up.
Well, here's the thing. If you look at a regular nuclear power plant, they have a bunch of things that can turn it off if something bad happens. And with Fukushima, it failed because, you know, several things went wrong at the same time. But shutting off a nuclear power plant isn't that hard. Russia controls the power plant. If they wanted to shut it off, they could just shut it off. But they don't. And the claim is that they
Sometimes bombing it's easier.
And why would you shell a nuclear power plant? Because that could cause a nuclear disaster on land that they want to control. You know?
I say bomb it. Just bomb it.
I mean, here's the thing, I don't think the Russians are that stupid. You might not watch it, but Putin has this like speech, he gives them in Russian, but you can find it like translated. And he doesn't seem like someone who's just impulsive or whatever. Like he would give like figures and whatever and reasons, and it's really dialectic and not, you know, rhetoric. And I just don't think that he's like someone who would not get this obvious thing. Like he knows that nuclear weapons is a red flag that would drag in the West, and Ukraine knows that too. So Ukraine just wants that to be the thing people think is happening. And then Ukraine was like, hey, you know,
A lot of people here in
Yeah.
America don't really give a shit about this, just so you know.
yeah,
What, the whole Ukraine thing in
Yeah,
general?
yeah, like you're in Europe, so like for you it's
Oh, yeah.
it's your, you know, it's your.
well, I mean, I'm just saying Rick Germany, but you know, I'm in northern Sweden, so who cares?
Yeah, but like we for us it might as well be in the Ukraine, you know. Oh wait, it is. No, I feel bad, of course.
You know, but as far as like individual power plants and stuff like that, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean I care. I just,
Yeah.
you know, it's there's nothing I can do about it.
What do you mean you're not going to go over there and fight the foreign legion?
I was willing to do it if they let me out of prison.
Yeah, so the problem with fighting, here's the thing. When it comes to like international law, if you're gonna be a PMC, if you're inside the nation fighting an internal threat, technically it could work, but if you're fighting another nation and they catch you, you have no human rights, basically. They can just kill you off and not think about it.
Did you see that, like, I guess, some, I don't know what the fuck it was, but like some building with a bunch of Ukrainian soldiers in it got blown up in a Russian airstrike. And then the CIA the next day added like 2 stars to their like wall of fallen CIA agents. So basically 2 CIA
Yeah.
agents got killed.
Yeah, so basically, I think you're talking about the NATO training center that was struck by a hypersonic missile, and then you know, basically NATO realized, holy crap, we cannot be directly involved because Russia could just strike us anywhere at any moment.
I don't know what it was. I just thought it was interesting that there was like CIA agents getting killed in Ukraine.
Of course.
Pretty neat.
Dude, of course. Like, they're involved in fucking everything. That's just what they do.
Yeah, I
I've
wonder
gone
what that
simp.
Tristan had.
Oh Jesus.
Russia's definitely gonna win though.
Well, yeah, but it's like, did we really win when we invaded Iraq and we held it for a few years and then had to say fuck it and give it up because